As one or two of you may have noticed, I haven't been posting any videos on YouTube for the past 5 or 6 months. I fell down the YouTube rabbit hole where I got to the point where I was checking stats and the traffic 2 or 3 times a day, which for a small YouTube channel like mine is just the road to nowhere. So I want to reset the whole thing, reboot everything, and keep it real. That said, apologies to anyone who's been on tenterhooks for another barbecue or a van or a walk in the Highlands video, and apologies also to anyone who left a comment and was expecting a reply, but more on that later. Obviously I haven't been totally inactive in the last 6 months, quite a lot of work to do here and there, but some news about the van. The electronic ignition system underwent a total meltdown over a period of about 2 or 3 months. The problem started off with having to repeatedly insert the key to get the familiar clunk of the steering lock releasing, and it got steadily worse until it was taking about 20 minutes of inserting the key before the van would start, so it was just too high risk to go anywhere. And then it needed a service, B-service and its MOT, so I eventually limped it into Auburn, and it's been in the garage for 2 months, having had 2 new electronic ignition systems fitted, but they won't talk to the rest of the van electronics. So it's just about to go down to Glasgow to the main dealer so it can be plugged into the Mercedes servers in the sky, although probably they're in Germany. I've had some really good walks over the winter and early part of the spring. One of the most memorable was a walk up to Blackwater Reservoir from Kinloch to visit the graveyard up there. It's an absolutely cracking walk, and I'll probably do a video of it on a clear day. It's very, very poignant to see the graves of the men and the women who died working on that dam build, and the reservoir's huge. I eventually got rid of the wood left over from my son's van conversion, which was blocking up the garage, so I could start a new project. That got converted into bookshelves for friends. And just thinking of future videos, actually, I'll certainly do a short one on the failure of the electronic ignition system in the Sprinter, and hopefully be able to talk through how the problem was resolved. Recently all my hiking boots gave up the ghost, so I've purchased a few more pairs. As I do so much walking, I do about 45, 50 miles minimum a week on these trails, and they're quite punishing on the soles of the boots, and so I'll review them en masse when I get to about 100 miles. I mean, I've been really disappointed. You spend so much money on hiking boots and then you have to throw away boots with perfectly good uppers because the soles wear through so quickly. I don't know whether they're just making hiking boots for weekend walkers. But anyway, so I've invested in some handwag and Mendel boots because they can be resoled, and the uppers really don't get much punishment walking on these roads. The other thing I'm experimenting with is a 4G router. My home broadband is up for renewal, and as I need to downsize the house, I really don't feel like signing up for another 18 months contract, particularly as they're selling me something which they just can't deliver. I'm right at the end of an old wire from the exchange in the middle of nowhere, and I think it is, if the 4G router works, I'll be able to use it in the van, as clearly I've got 400 amp hours, and using an inverter to give 240 volts just isn't a problem. The router I bought is only 18 watts, so it should be very doable. I just need to check to see whether I'm going to need an external antenna to get it working in the house and also in the van, but obviously I need the van back first before I can do anything at all. The reason I'm up here above Glen Kill Michael has got his house for sale, but I just don't know how you get through the winter up here, particularly as the road up to this house is just a tractor truck. Just going back to the comments on YouTube, I really haven't got the bandwidth to respond to everybody, and I just don't want to fall into this let me know what you think in the comments kind of brigade. We'll only ask you to do that so they can bump up the effect on the algorithm, on the YouTube algorithm, to get more money, and they never answer anybody's comments anyway. I just don't want to be that person, and I can't respond to everybody's comments, so I'll probably just disable it. I mean, I might be wrong about the algorithm, and I might be wrong about the people who say let me know what you think in the comments below, but I might be right. Anyway, it's all good, and look forward to making more videos with hopefully some content that'll be of interest to many of you. So busy blabbing on, I took the wrong way, which would have been a bit of a disaster, as that road behind me goes nowhere. Anyway, onwards and upwards towards the wind farm.